All right, guys, so 55, 51, because we need to replace the screen. What we've done first is, obviously, anytime you're working with electronics, remove the power source. Now, the next step is finding where the screws are to actually remove the bezel. In this case, there's two screws, one at each lower end of the actual display. And covering them are these little sticky black covers that you can actually remove with one of those, a precision screwdriver set. Now that we've got that off, we need to actually remove the screws here. Put your screws aside so you don't lose them. It's never fun going hunting around for screws and the like. Now we actually have to remove the bezel that we've removed the securing screws. Easiest way I found to do it, even though I don't have fingernails, just take your fingers, go down, and just kind of pry it off here. Don't pull too hard, it will come off. Note the webcam itself isn't attached. This is just a plastic lens, unlike some manufacturers that actually embed the webcam itself into the bezel. So we're just going to take this off real quick, and that's your bezel. Set that aside. Now, your first instinct is going to be to remove the 4 screws at either corner. However, that's not the case. The panel itself actually sits inside a bracing mechanism, and we need to remove the screws on the side here. So we're going to go ahead and take our Phillips head screwdriver. Now, when working with these screws, they are pretty small. So I mentioned about the screw thing before, about keeping track of them. It's doubly important for these ones. These aren't the size, these aren't screws that you're going to find at your local Lowe's. Okay, come on. There you go. So as you can see, we've got one side off and we can pull the panel out a little bit. But first we need to rotate this over and actually do this side. This side's going to be a little bit more difficult because the Wi-Fi antenna is actually embedded onto closer on the left side of the display than it was on the right. If you need to, just pull the back end of the bezel off a little bit and you're good to go. You'll be able to get those screws out. Set the screws aside, just do it. Alright, now you take the panel. Trickiness. Tricky, 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 huh? So it appears the panel is holding in the cable for the actual webcam. Now you can pull the webcam out, it seems, but we're just going to. And of course, there is sticky stuff. There we go. Side of the panel. And you'll note that luckily, this panel, the specific panel, includes a quick disconnect. First, what we need to do is pull this tape holding the connector in. You can actually get it off the back of the panel. A little industrial strength tape, it seems, here. And there's also tape on the side of this actual connector here. Now this connector is extremely delicate and it actually slides out, it looks. Yeah, it slides out. Do not pull up on it. Pull down toward the bottom of the actual panel. So this is our busted panel. So I can go over there. And here is our new panel. New panel, direct from laptopscreen.com, and looks exactly like the old panel. I'm going to go ahead and pull this tape around. We'll leave it on the sides so that we can not mar the front side of the panel. we'll keep it on there because it does have a protective coating on it. We're going to go ahead and slide this back in. Okay. Push down. I'm wondering if I can actually get this tape off. Come on. There we go. I'll just go ahead and tape this back down. Probably doesn't need it, but just to be safe. That's what we're going to do. So there you go. And I just reversed the tape. So let's go ahead and put this back in. There we go. Make sure that your webcam is, as we mentioned, straight. There's a little ferrite here. It looks like that kind of shields the webcam connection, so go ahead and make sure that that's still intact. Now we get to do the fun part of putting those tiny screws back into the side. The display itself is going to want to sag a little bit, so we're going to have to prop it up so we can actually screw this bad boy in. That's one on that side. Another screw. Pull it forward. Now, if you didn't count initially, there are 3 screws per side. Even though there are 4 holes, there are only 3 screws per side. Okay? So don't freak out and think, where did all my screws go? You're not losing your mind. If memory serves me correctly, they go in the bottom of the 2 middle holes here. Go ahead and flip this back around. Work on this side now. And actually, putting the screws back in is actually easier, it seems, than taking them out. Let's go ahead and do the top first, this time around. Push up from the bottom a little bit. Seat the screw into the hole, hopefully. Where is it? There it is. All right, second to last screw on the bezel of the display. And last one. Okay, got that done. Now we can go ahead and remove this protective cover on. Okay, that's done. Make sure our webcam, once again, is seated correctly. Let's go ahead and snap the bezel back on. All right, put our 2 screws back. Put our little covers back, make it all nice and pretty. And get our battery. Oh, that's probably not good. Put the battery in here.